Approaching do-it-yourself projects requires a careful balance between providing helpful information and ensuring safety. Completely shutting down discussions, although done with good intentions, can prevent people from learning and seeking the right help. It's important to handle topics like electrical work and chemicals carefully, but open censorship isn't always the best way. Firstly, setting clear guidelines is essential. This means creating specific rules about what topics are okay to discuss and which ones are too risky for the platform. Secondly, actively moderating conversations is key. Keep an eye on do-it-yourself threads and step in if things start to become unsafe or inappropriate. Thirdly, providing resources is vital. Share links to trusted websites, organizations, or professionals who can give reliable advice on different do-it-yourself tasks. Fourthly, always encourage responsible behavior. Remind people to put safety first, get expert advice when needed, and not to try things that are beyond their abilities. Let's break down each of these points in more detail. Setting clear guidelines is the foundation for a safe and helpful do-it-yourself community. You need to decide what topics are too dangerous to be discussed openly. This could include things like high-voltage electrical work, handling hazardous chemicals without proper safety gear, or modifying structural elements of a building without professional guidance. Be specific in your rules. Don't just say be careful. Instead, clearly state that discussions about wiring electrical panels are prohibited, or that advice on mixing certain chemicals is not allowed. Make sure these guidelines are easy to find and understand. Put them in a prominent place on the platform and use clear, simple language. When people understand the rules, they are more likely to follow them. Actively moderating conversations is another important step. This means regularly checking do-it-yourself threads for any signs of unsafe or inappropriate behavior. Look for discussions where people are giving or receiving advice that could be dangerous. This might include suggesting ways to bypass safety features on tools, recommending the use of improper materials, or encouraging people to attempt tasks without the necessary training or experience. When you see something that concerns you, step in immediately. Remove the offending content, warn the users involved, and explain why their behavior is not acceptable. Be consistent in your moderation. Apply the same rules to everyone, regardless of their experience level or reputation. Providing resources is a way to offer helpful information without directly endorsing unsafe practices. Collect links to reputable websites, organizations, and professionals who can provide reliable advice on specific do-it-yourself tasks. This might include websites that offer detailed instructions on how to perform basic home repairs, organizations that provide safety training for specific trades, or directories of licensed contractors and consultants. Make these resources easy to access. Create a dedicated page on the platform, or include them in a sidebar or footer on relevant pages. Organize the resources by topic so people can quickly find the information they need. Encouraging responsible behavior is about promoting a culture of safety within the do-it-yourself community. Remind people to prioritize safety in everything they do. Encourage them to wear appropriate safety gear, to follow instructions carefully, and to take their time. Stress the importance of consulting experts when necessary. Let people know that it's okay to ask for help, and that there's no shame in admitting they don't know how to do something. Emphasize that some tasks are simply too dangerous for amateurs to attempt. These tasks should be left to qualified professionals. By adopting these approaches, you can create a do-it-yourself community that is both safe and helpful. People can learn from each other, share their experiences, and get the advice they need without putting themselves or others at risk. Let's delve deeper into some specific examples of how these guidelines can be applied in practice. Consider the example of electrical work. Electricity is dangerous, and even seemingly minor mistakes can have serious consequences. To ensure safety, you might establish the following rules. Firstly, no discussions about working on live electrical circuits. Any advice that involves bypassing safety precautions or working with exposed wires should be strictly prohibited. Secondly, only qualified electricians should perform electrical work. Encourage users to hire licensed professionals for any electrical repairs or installations. Thirdly, provide resources on basic electrical safety. Share links to websites that offer information on grounding, circuit breakers, and other important safety topics. Another area of concern is the handling of chemicals. Many common household chemicals can be dangerous if not used properly. Therefore, the following guidelines could be implemented. Firstly, always read and follow the manufacturer's instructions. Emphasize the importance of understanding the risks associated with each chemical. Secondly, wear appropriate safety gear. Require users to wear gloves, eye protection, and respirators when handling potentially hazardous chemicals. Thirdly, provide resources on chemical safety. Share links to websites that offer information on proper storage, handling, and disposal of chemicals. When moderating conversations, it's important to be proactive and address potential safety issues before they escalate. For example, if you see someone suggesting a shortcut that could compromise safety, step in immediately and explain the risks involved. If someone is asking for advice on a task that is beyond their skill level, encourage them to seek professional help. Be firm but fair in your moderation. Explain your reasoning clearly and provide links to relevant resources. Creating a safe and helpful do-it-yourself community is an ongoing process. It requires constant vigilance, clear communication, and a commitment to safety. By following these guidelines, you can foster a supportive environment where people can learn, share, and grow their skills without putting themselves or others at risk. Remember that the goal is not to stifle creativity or discourage people from pursuing their do-it-yourself projects. Instead, the aim is to provide them with the knowledge and resources they need to do so safely and responsibly. Consider the importance of empowering users to make informed decisions. By providing access to reliable information, you enable them to assess the risks involved in a particular task and determine whether they have the skills and experience necessary to complete it safely. Encourage users to start with small, manageable projects and gradually work their way up to more complex tasks. This allows them to build their skills and confidence over time, while minimizing the risk of accidents. Also, emphasize the importance of planning and preparation. Before starting any do-it-yourself project, users should take the time to research the task, gather the necessary materials and tools, and create a detailed plan. This will help them avoid costly mistakes and ensure that the project is completed safely and efficiently. Finally, remember that creating a safe and helpful do-it-yourself community is a shared responsibility. Encourage users to look out for each other and to report any concerns they may have. By working together, you can create a community where everyone feels safe, supported, and empowered to pursue their do-it-yourself passions. Now, let's consider some specific examples of resources that could be provided to users. For electrical work, you could provide links to the National Electrical Code, which sets the standards for safe electrical installations. You could also provide links to websites that offer information on grounding, circuit protection, and other important safety topics. For plumbing work, you could provide links to the Uniform Plumbing Code, which sets the standards for safe plumbing installations. You could also provide links to websites that offer information on pipe fitting, soldering, and other important plumbing skills. For woodworking, you could provide links to websites that offer information on tool safety, wood selection, and joinery techniques. You could also provide links to organizations that offer woodworking classes and workshops. For gardening, you could provide links to websites that offer information on plant selection, soil preparation, and pest control. You could also provide links to local gardening clubs and organizations. By providing access to a wide range of resources, you can empower users to make informed decisions and to pursue their do-it-yourself projects safely and responsibly. It's also important to remember that the specific resources that are most relevant will vary depending on the type of do-it-yourself project. Therefore, it's important to tailor the resources to the specific needs of the community. In addition to providing resources, it's also important to create opportunities for users to connect with each other and to share their knowledge and experiences. This could include creating forums or discussion groups where users can ask questions, share tips, and offer advice. It could also include organizing workshops or events where users can learn new skills and meet other do-it-yourself enthusiasts. By creating a strong sense of community, you can foster a culture of safety and support, where everyone feels empowered to pursue their do-it-yourself passions. It's also important to remember that the goal is not to eliminate all risk from do-it-yourself projects. Some risk is inherent in any activity that involves tools, equipment, or chemicals. However, the goal is to minimize the risk as much as possible and to ensure that users are aware of the risks involved before they begin. By providing access to reliable information, encouraging responsible behavior, and creating a supportive community, you can help users to make informed decisions and to pursue their do-it-yourself projects safely and responsibly. And finally, it's important to regularly review and update your guidelines and resources to ensure that they are still relevant and effective. The world of do-it-yourself is constantly evolving, so it's important to stay up to date on the latest trends, technologies, and safety practices. By doing so, you can ensure that your community remains a safe, helpful, and informative resource for do-it-yourself enthusiasts of all skill levels. In the case of the gardener attempting to use 380 volts to eradicate moles, it's a stark reminder of the dangers of misapplying electrical knowledge and attempting tasks beyond one's capabilities. It underscores the importance of consulting with qualified professionals and adhering to established safety protocols when dealing with electricity. The incident serves as a cautionary tale about the potential consequences of reckless experimentation and the need for a thorough understanding of electrical principles before undertaking any electrical work. Moreover, it highlights the importance of ethical considerations in do-it-yourself projects. While it's understandable to want to protect one's property from pests, it's crucial to do so in a way that is safe, humane, and compliant with local laws and regulations. The gardener's actions were not only dangerous but also potentially illegal and harmful to the environment. Therefore, it's essential to encourage responsible and ethical behavior in all do-it-yourself endeavors. This includes respecting the environment, protecting wildlife, and avoiding any actions that could put others at risk. In conclusion, balancing safety with helpful do-it-yourself information requires a multifaceted approach that includes setting clear guidelines, moderating conversations, providing reliable resources, encouraging responsible behavior, and fostering a strong sense of community. By adopting these strategies, you can create a do-it-yourself environment that is both safe and empowering for all. Remember that the goal is not to eliminate all risk, but to minimize it as much as possible and to ensure that users are aware of the risks involved before they begin. By working together, you can create a community where everyone feels safe, supported, and empowered to pursue their do-it-yourself passions.